Okay, it's the fourth and final day of the F1 testing at Barcelona. It was a sunny day, but it was quite windy in places. We'll start again with McLaren. They didn't have a good day once again. They were going to split it between Alonso and Button. Alonso went out for the morning. They didn't actually get out for 2 hours because they needed to install the re-engineered component for the MG UK. Now, they seemed pretty stable, doing some runs on some medium tyres, but then on the 21st lap, Alonso went off on the inside of turns 3 and 4. Hit the wall, seems like pretty hard. He was okay and conscious. He wasn't an outlap, so I doubt he was pushing it too hard. But still, they took him away in the medical helicopter for some precautionary checks, which include a CT scan, etc. And it showed no injuries, which is good news, but we're still going to find out some more information on that. Now, more on the car, Button does think, he says every time he gets in the car, it does feel good, and he hasn't pushed it yet. And he does think that it's going to be quick, and he has been quoted on saying that he thinks they're going to be pushing for some race wins by the end of the season. Hopefully that'll be the case. That would be fantastic. Moving on to Lotus, the E23 today was taken on by Romain Grosjean, and he went to set the fastest time of the test so far with a 1 minute 24.067 on the supersofts, beating the time of fellow Lotus driver Pastor Maldonado from the previous day. Now, today I was watching everything and I was thinking, how's the Mercedes going to compare? And I was thinking, they've been doing long runs on the medium tyres, and I was thinking, okay, we're going to have to wait till next weekend to find this out. Then Mr. Rosberg, he made a bit of a decision today. Didn't have a great start to the day. He beached his car at turn 5, which was the same corner that Vettel spun off at yesterday morning. He blamed that on cold tyres. He went on to rack up the most laps of the day with 129. But he also today set the second fastest time, a 1 minute 24.3 on the medium tyres. You think about that, that's 2.5 tenths slower than Romain Grosjean did on the supersofts. Mercedes, they're flexing their muscles a little bit here. Pirelli say the supersofts are about 1.5 to 2 seconds faster than the mediums. That's just showing how, the Mercedes, it's going to be good. It could be quite embarrassing for the rest of the teams. Ferrari, Sebastian Vettel was the 7th fastest today on the medium tyres. They were concentrating on reliability. They were testing various settings, tyre configurations, and concentrating on long runs again. Over at Red Bull, Danny Kvyat, he was 0.6 of a second slower than Rosberg on the soft tyres. Again, you compare that to medium and soft, he's still slower. He was 1:24.941, and he did manage to rack up 102 laps. Same story for Williams, really. Bottas, 1:25.3 on the soft tyres. We haven't really seen Williams push it yet, still doing the long runs. Of course, all this, we don't know about fuel loads, etc. Moving on to Force India, Nico Rosberg was out today. He's in the 2014 car, of course. Are they still testing tyres? What are they doing out there? In the afternoon session, they pulled up with a big cloud of smoke on turn 1, owing that to a power unit failure. Now, they're out there testing the 2014 car, and they're out there leaving a lot of fluid on turn 1. Do you think the rest of the teams are going to be quite annoyed that they're not even testing the 2015 car, yet they're leaving fluid on the track, maybe disrupting everyone else's tests? Let me know in the comments. Toro Rosso, Carlos Sainz Jr., he had the fastest time for morning session, but then crashed in the afternoon at turn 3, taking off his front wing. They were concentrating on long runs, and he was on some hard tyres, and he blamed some very high and inconsistent winds for the accident. Over at Sauber, Felipe Nasser had a few problems in the morning. They weren't able to get out for a while, but then he went on to set the 4th fastest time with a 1 minute 24.9. The Sauber eventually stopped at turn 6 with 10 minutes to go, bringing an end to the day's proceedings. Now, let's talk engine suppliers. In Jerez, Renault didn't really get the running they wanted to do. They didn't get to test the reliability of the new power unit as much as they wanted. Now, we've done some number crunching here. We totaled up the number of laps each engine supplier has been able to complete in Barcelona. With Mercedes, we've taken out, of course, Force India because they're still running the 2014. Now, Mercedes have clocked up the most laps with 1,182. Now, if you divide this by the number of teams they're supplying, 3, this means they have 394 as an average per team. You compare this to Renault, who had 826, but only 2 teams. This means it's a 413 on average. They're doing a lot of laps. They seem to have a lot of reliability in the new Renault power unit. Look at Daniel Ricciardo on day 2. 142 laps he managed to complete. Very impressive. But this does show how far behind Honda are going to be. In the whole of the Barcelona testing, they've only been able to complete 124 laps. And it's still not looking anything like it's going to be reliable. Is Fernando Alonso right? Will McLaren even be ready for Melbourne? Are they even going to complete the race? Jenson Button thinks they're going to be pushing for race wins at the end of the season. What do you think about that? Let me know in the comments. If you like this video, remember to give us a thumbs up and why not subscribe?